Danny Flexon here for SecondsOut. I'd like to be joined by my good friend and head of Sky Sports Boxing Development, Adam Smith. Adam, how are you doing?
I'm very good, Danny. Very, very excited about what today brings and the whole announcement. I think it's a wonderful moment for boxing. It's an absolutely classic fight between Claressa Shields and Savannah Marshall that's been 10 years in the making. I think it's going to be a massive statement for our sport, for women's sport, when we unveil the entire card. And I'm just really delighted that this is going to be landmark. And September the 10th is going to be a night at the O2 that is going to be marked in a little bit of history. This all-female card, Michaela Mayer honours a chief support, other fights to be announced as well, and a standout main event between Clarissa Shields and Savannah Marshall that has everything. It has history, it has legacy, it has needle, it has spice, it has... Yeah, it just is a great, great fight, and I'm delighted that we can finally announce it.
Now, I don't want to make this all about me, but I sent you a text message about 2 or 3 months ago suggesting an all-female card. Please tell me I inspired the whole thing.
Danny, you're an inspiration to me. You always have been. Look, it's something we've been thinking about for a long time, and just with the whole wave of brilliant increase in women's sport, particularly on Sky, with the WSL, with the netball, with the golf, with the cricket, with everything. We've been massive advocates for women's boxing since Katie Taylor sort of led the way, the pioneer, Chantel Cameron, Tasha Jonas, Terry Harper, so many followed. Savannah Marshall, of course, is etched in Sky history, being a scholar who we mentored for 4 years. And Clarissa Shields, obviously, we've been in awe of her for many a year. Obviously, Savannah has that win over her, but then Clarissa went and became double Olympic champion, multiple world titles in 3 weight classes. And Savannah, it took longer, and it took probably the meeting with Peter Fury to get her get that chemistry, get that belief in her talent, and finally she can go on and really fulfill her promise and her dreams. She's a world champion. She wants to become the undisputed. It's the battle of the unbeatens. It's England and America. It's different personalities. It's got everything, and I'm delighted that it's going to get the stage that it deserves on a card, all women. And it's going to be absolutely promoted by Sky across the platforms on Sky Sports as a mark in the sand. This is going to be fantastic. Listen, let's pay homage to Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. They headlined at Madison Square Garden. It was an epic encounter. I couldn't be there that night. I was in Vegas for Shakur Stevenson. I would have been. Katie's been a brilliant representative of Sky, fighter, representative of Ireland and beyond. And we adore Katie, and what she and Amanda dished up was unbelievable. This is going to be on UK soil at UK time, and it's going to just carry on. The women are transcending the sport. It's fantastic, and Clarissa and Savannah get the platform they deserve, and we'll do everything we can to get behind it. Michaela Mayer as well. She's going to be an absolute superstar. We're delighted to have her on as the chief support against Alicia Baumgarten. That's a fantastic fight in its own right. There will be more added, Danny, and it will be a night to remember on September the 10th at the O2.
Was it at all challenging to persuade Clarissa Shields to come over here for this fight, or is it something she relishes?
She relishes it. She wants to exact revenge on Savannah Marshall. It's burning inside of her. She doesn't believe Savannah's on her level, on her plane. She believes it was an aberration. What happened in the amateurs, it was just one of those things. And she's been to Cardiff. She stopped traffic in Cardiff. She's been to Newcastle, she's come over, she's banged on the door, and she's back. And I think it's great that it's in the capital, it's in London. It's a global moment, this. I think it's fantastic, and Savannah, in a way, has given up that northeast advantage too, so it's going to be on a bit of neutral territory in London. And I don't think Clarissa cares where it is. This is where she won her Olympic gold medal, or at least the first one. So, no, she just wants to get on with the fight. So does Savannah, and we'll find out who is the undisputed middleweight champion. And who knows, if it's a humdinger, we go again. What a story. It's etched in history, this. It's got everything.
And you mentioned earlier some of the other female sport that Sky cover. Will we see any of the representatives from those sports ringside, perhaps, or in the audience?
We hope so. We're absolutely going to utilise all our contacts, our arsenal, our support system. And this is a Sky Sports night and fight. This is not a box office night. And we are going to drive it with every bit we've got, because we want so many eyeballs on this night, not just boxing, but sports fans generally, fans of what's happened with the ascent of women's sport, which is absolutely brilliant. That we've got the WSL in football that's absolutely thriving. We've got the golf, we've got the netball, we've got everything, the darts, look what Fallon Sherrick has done, through the glass ceiling. It's absolutely incredible, and along being an advocate of women at Sky, let alone women in sport, and always had great women on our boxing team, and now we have great women to represent in the sport. And we had Jane Couch, you and I remember back in the day, but the matches weren't great. Katie the Pioneer, and look what's come out, and now we've signed Caroline and Caris and Lauren, and it's just the future is fantastically bright. Tasha's working for us as well now, so it's going to be a super night, and I'm sure we'll get a plethora of women from across sports there, as well as men that want to be there, as well as everybody wants to be there at this fight, because it's a massive fight, male or female. This is a massive fight for boxing, Danny, and it's one of the great fights that's been put together in recent times, and it's green for go, and we are delighted.
Now, you said you want as many eyeballs on this as possible. Is there a chance that some of the card might be available to non-subscribers also, perhaps through social channels?
We've got to look at the business side of it, but we're certainly going to put it on Sky Sports. Where else it will go, we'll work on that. We'll talk about that internally. What we want is, we do want this to be a massive attraction for as many people as we can to watch. But of course, the numbers that we're getting on Sky Sports, Sky Showcase, which we had with the Eubank Williams fight and the Taylor Catchwell fight, shows the power of the Sky platform now. And we're convinced this takes boxing, sport, and most importantly women's sport forward, and I think it's going to be landmark down.